This man's name is Sujin. He's a transmigrator who arrived in this dimension many years ago. This is a Xuanhuan world, or in other words, a world of cultivation. In order to make a living, he has to exterminate pests for other high-level cultivators. For just a few spirit stones, he has to clear an entire medicinal herb forest of insects. Life was very difficult until one day he discovered he could travel to another world. That place was a martial arts world during the Great Song period. In this world, the strong cultivate blood and chi, while in a cultivation world, it's spiritual energy. This difference gave him many life experiences and opportunities. Then, he suddenly realized something. Whether in the cultivation world or the martial arts world, his goal was singular: to achieve eternal life. And now, let's get into the story. In the cultivation world, Kanglin Town, outskirts, our Sujin sat before the rice paddies, executing the 7 dragon seeking technique. Mystic Demon Slash. It turned out these techniques were for destroying the insects that ravaged the crops. After finishing, an old man walked up to Sujin. Sujin said, "Taoist Lu, thankfully I did not fail my mission. The pests on your 10 mu of land have been exterminated. If nothing unexpected happens, there will be no insect for the next 6 months. Besides, these rice plants are growing so well, this year will surely be a bountiful harvest." Taoist Lu laughed heartily. Taoist Su's pest control art is indeed worthy of its reputation, truly befitting the famous pest exterminator of Kanglin Town. Sujin said shyly, "You flatter me." The old man left. Sujin picked up the money pouch, looked at it, and sighed. This job was so busy, it took all morning to finish. 1 spirit stone can barely be exchanged for a spirit gathering formation. By then, my cultivation speed can increase by at least 0.99%. Why is it that when other people transmigrate, they start as either a holy son of an unorthodox sect or a descendant of an immortal king? But when I transmigrated, I have to struggle to survive with a 996 job? After speaking, Sujin left. A moment later, Sujin arrived at Kanglin Town. The atmosphere here was extremely bustling, with people coming and going, and vendors calling out, "Everyone come and see." The Kanglin Town branch of the Huan sect is having its grand opening sale. First time is free of spirit stones. 1 mouthful of essence can let you play for a night. From chi refinement to foundation establishment, you're only missing a refined magical artifact, just 5 spirit stones. Sujin looked at the scene before him and thought to himself, this is Kanglin Town, an important business hub in the southern cultivation world, a place where dragons and snakes mix. There are many opportunities, but at the same time, it's full of traps. To Sujin, this place was perhaps all too familiar. As soon as Sujin appeared, beautiful girls cheerfully waved and greeted him. Taoist Su, were you satisfied with the service last time? Today we have a new cultivation technique, the ecstatic ascension, Heavenly Emperor's dragon taming. At this, Sujin's face turned red with embarrassment, but he replied, "My heart is set on the Tao, unmoved by worldly temptations, seeing beautiful women as mere white bones. Therefore, fellow Taoist, you have the wrong person." After speaking, he left. The beautiful woman, with a bright smile, waved at Sujin. "If Taoist Su is short on money, we can offer credit. If that's not possible, you can use your vital essence to pay the debt. 3 mouthfuls of essence can let you play all night." An old man floating in midair said, "Ancient secret art, the heaven-deceiving technique, can absorb fortune and defy fate to change one's destiny. Seeking a fated person to inherit my legacy. Only 10 spirit stones to become my disciple, as long as you are sincere." Sujin listened to these people, a look of weariness on his face. "Last time, it took me a full 10 days of cultivation to replenish 1 mouthful of essence. 3 mouthfuls? Are they trying to kill me, or what? I'm still too poor." Over here, a young man with a purple top knot called out, "The Juk sect is opening cultivation classes. We don't look at aptitude. We don't look at talent. Only 20 spirit stones are needed. Our Juk sect has a golden core expert overseeing the class, and you can receive free guidance for half a year. The first 100 successful applicants will get a 50% discount on tuition." This foundation establishment stage demon beast behind me is the result of 5 years of cultivation after joining the sect. From a young man who couldn't even tie up a chicken, I can now kill a foundation establishment stage demon beast. What you lack isn't aptitude or talent, just a specialized training class. The surrounding people heard this pitch and crowded around to ask, is it real or fake? After cultivating for 5 years, you can counterkill a foundation establishment demon beast? If it's that amazing, my mid-stage chi refinement cultivation base will surely make me much stronger. Sujin glanced at the demon beast and thought to himself, this monster's body is stiff and its wounds are all rotten. Who knows how many times it's been dragged out to deceive people. A moment later, Sujin returned home. A small house like this costs 2 spirit stones a month. If he couldn't pay, he would be considered homeless. At night, he would be thrown out of Kanglan Town by the law enforcement team. In the wilderness, without the protection of the settlement, he could die in the dark. As Sujin was using his spiritual energy to open the door to his house, a young man suddenly ran over and called out, "Haha, Brother Su, we haven't seen each other for a few days, but your style is still the same." This young man was the rogue cultivator Wei Changsheng. Sujin looked at the lipstick marks on Changsheng's face and asked, Taoist Wei, didn't you go out yesterday to find inspiration for a breakthrough? Did you just come back from the Hawan sect? Wei Changsheng laughed heartily and replied, Brother Su, you really know how to joke. My Tao heart is pure. Besides, I heard that a cultivator from a foreign region came to the Hawan sect, wanted to polish a jade from a rough stone. I went to learn a foreign language from her. But Taoist Su, have you heard the recent news? The Five Flower sect has dug up an immortal mine in the southwest. It's said that it's full of spirit stones and is called the Giant Spirit Mountain. One trip there, and you can pick up several hundred spirit stones. I'm preparing to go over and take a look. Maybe I'll find an opportunity to break through to foundation establishment. Sujin refused this, saying, better not. I wish Brother Wei a bright future. In fact, Sujin knew what Changsheng meant. If you're coveting their spirit stones, they might just be coveting your kidneys. Wei Changsheng grabbed his hand and tried to persuade Sujin. Brother Su, with talents like ours, how can we stay in this small place for our whole lives? The path of immortality is fraught with difficulties I must fight. The opportunity to get rich is right in front of me. Even if it's dangerous, it's worth risking my life once. Aren't you going to go out and make a name for yourself? Are you going to be a farmer here for the rest of your life? Sujin praised Wei Changsheng for his ambition, but sorry, I'm not interested. Wei Changsheng said, the team going to the Giant Spirit Mountain has been formed and will set off in a few days. Brother Su, you must seize this opportunity. Don't wait until you're about to die to regret it. After hearing this, Sujin frowned and thought to himself, cultivators don't have long lifespans. Cultivating for eternal life. How many can actually live peacefully to the end of their days? Although Kanglan Town is a gathering place for low-level cultivators, there are many who have reached foundation establishment. Golden cores are everywhere, and it's not easy to get by. Sujin opened the door and went inside. Sitting by the window in his house, Sujin looked at the paper crane hovering in his hand. The crane informed Sujin, Taoist Su, it is regrettable that due to your bone age not meeting the requirements, your application to join the sect has not been accepted. Currently, our sect is organizing an exploratory trial in a secret realm. If you're interested, please contact the sect in Kanglan Town. Registration is only 5 spirit stones, and you can participate in the Wenyang sect trial. Sujin was annoyed upon hearing this, so I failed. I already wasted the registration fee, and now they want to trick me again. In reality, this so-called secret realm exploration to fight for opportunities sounds wonderful, but how many people can actually come out alive? If I can't join a sect, so be it. I might as well cultivate diligently. On the contrary, what I have is time. Sujin sat cross-legged and cultivated with the spirit gathering formation. Suddenly, the system appeared. On the system screen, it displayed Host Sujin, Cultivation, Mid-Stage Chi Refinement, Abilities, None. Sujin saw the words on the system and thought to himself, cultivating the eternal spring art has no bottlenecks and no risk of chi deviation, and it can even increase lifespan. The drawback is that the cultivation is slow, but this is way too slow. 3 years without a shred of progress. It would take 100 years to reach the late stage of chi refinement. My lifespan would run out before I could reach foundation establishment. As expected of the most widespread cultivation technique in the cultivation world, it's truly cheap and shoddy. Moreover, I have to work myself to death every day. It seems I can only choose another path. Sujin ordered the system, transmigrate me now. Scene changed to the Sioux residence in the Great Song. After a night of frolicking with a beautiful woman, Su Jin now lay with her, thinking to himself, 3 months ago, I activated the system's ability and can now freely transmigrate to this world. Although the spiritual energy here is thin, I've gathered that there are basically no cultivators. The only threats are some unknown things called Yaoma. There are also people who fight against them, among whom those with profound cultivation can destroy a city single-handedly. In terms of strength, they are not to be trifled with. Shaojing is also about to reach foundation establishment. Overall, the safety level is hundreds of thousands of times higher than the cultivation world. I don't have to worry about waking up to find the entire Kingland town flattened by a nascent soul grandmaster. Most importantly, the gold and silver that the cultivation world considers scrap metal can be used to shop freely here. Bringing a little over allows me to enjoy a life of luxury. Suddenly, the maid Lan Yu came in with 2 people carrying books and said, "Young master, as per your instructions, all the martial arts manuals that have been circulating this month have been acquired. There are 37 volumes in total, plus 16 martial arts manuals from various families. In addition, the jade pendants and spiritual herbs you requested are being transported. They will arrive in 10 days at the latest." Su Jin picked up a book and read it, thinking to himself, I have never seen a true martial arts inheritance, but the main point is the jade pendants and medicinal materials. If I can exchange money for spirit stones and spiritual herbs, it would be a huge profit. Lan Yu said, "Young master, according to the news we've gathered, there are more than 20 martial arts dojos in Chongning City, among which the most powerful is the Shixiang sect. It said they have deep connections with the capital, but their recruitment requirements are very high." Su Jin asked, "What are the requirements? Is 1,000 taels enough? If not, then double it." Lan Yu heard this and said, "Yes, I will go and handle it now." After speaking, she left. Su Jin's face turned serious as he thought to himself, although I've tried my best to be low-key these past 3 months, dealing with such a large sum of money will still arouse greed. What's more, I will be purchasing a large amount of jade and medicinal materials later. I must quickly find out about the powers of this world. Su Jin sat on the floor, picked up a few books, and thought. These basic introductory martial arts techniques like the void-piercing finger and cloud dragon returning wind palm are crude in concept, but they could develop the body's potential by circulating blood and qi. Cultivators originally go against the heavens. The longer they cultivate, the more their blood and qi will be depleted, making it very difficult to break through realms and extend their lifespan. In serious cases, their cultivation level might even drop. But according to the descriptions of these martial arts techniques, if one cultivates them to the highest level, their blood and qi can be continuously strengthened, maintaining a peak state until their lifespan runs out. I originally thought this martial art was an advanced version of body cultivation, but I didn't expect the martial arts of this world to have a different approach. As it said, after mastering these techniques, they will really help me in my cultivation. But whether it's the immortal path or the martial path, one cannot escape diligent study and hard training. The road is still long, and I will explore everything. Su Jin leaned his head on the lap of his maid, Xiao Zhu, and asked, "Xiao Zhu, have you learned how to make that kung pao chicken with crayfish sauce I mentioned last time?" Xiao Zhu replied, "Young master, I am learning it." The next day, a convoy of carriages gathered at the gate of Su Jin's residence. The maid Lan Yu said, "Young master, the jade stones and medicinal materials you ordered last time have been delivered by Boss Qin of the Ruifeng Trading Company." Boss Qin, who was nearby, smiled amiably and praised Su Jin for being young and promising. Su Jin thought to himself, the cultivation world uses spirit stones as currency. Getting all kinds of spirit ores and spirit herbs from here is truly a huge gain. Boss Qin continued, "Young Master Su, this box contains Lanshan jade. Every piece is flawless and of the highest quality. Our trading company selected them carefully. If this were to be put in an auction house, I'm afraid those shop owners would fight to the death for it. But I heard that old Master Su is a jade lover, so I prioritize bringing it to you for a look first. If you like it, old Qin here won't make a profit off you. I'll give you a shocking price to form a good relationship." Su Jin picked up a piece of jade to examine it, and said, this jade is indeed not bad. In fact, Su-jin knew very well that this stone had not a trace of spiritual energy. It was no different from a broken rock. Su-jin tossed the stone to Xiao Zhu and told her take a look. Xiao Zhu caught the jade and said, be a little more careful. Su-jin placed his hand on the box containing 3 glowing spirit stones, a smirk on his face as he thought. With this concentration of spiritual energy and volume, there are actually 3 spirit stones. Boss Qin warmly praised Su-jin for having a good eye. This box contains Shuyang Jade. Wearing it year-round can reduce yin energy, increase kidney yang, warm the heart and lungs, nourish the 5 organs, and brighten the eyes and ears. After hearing this, Xiao Zhu looked weary and said, the only thing missing is immortality. Boss Qin took out his own necklace and said, Old Master Su, you still don't believe me? Guess how old Qin is this year? To be honest, I'm 60 this year, but if you look closely, I look 40 at most. Xiao Zhu snorted and said, only a ghost would believe that. Su-jin spoke up, I believe you. I naturally believe in Boss Qin's sincerity. I want this entire shipment and your necklace too. Boss Qin's jaw dropped in surprise. You're taking it all? Su-jin said, no problem. He then told Lan Yu to pay Boss Qin the market price, and then arranged for people to bring this box into his room. In his heart, Su-jin thought, although I could directly pick out the few spirit stones, it would be too conspicuous. Before I've thoroughly understood the depths of this world, it's better to be a little cautious. Lan Yu then said to Boss Qin, let's settle the bill. Payment on delivery. Boss Qin smiled gleefully, thinking to himself, this old Master Su is really generous, a truly fat sheep. Scene changed to the Shi Xiang sect. At this moment, sect master Ding Qi was idly fishing by the lake. A direct disciple came to report, Elder Ding, young Master Su, who donated 1,000 taels last time, has arrived. Sect Master Ding Qi said, he's already over 18, his bones have already set. Money is useless. Let him register in the outer sect. In the future, in Chongning City, we'll protect his safety. Zhu Ji said, yes, but this time he came to donate 5,000 taels. Ding Qi was annoyed. How many times have I said this? Our Shixiang sect is not a place where anyone with money can just sneak in. This donor is different from them. Besides, 7,000 taels. Is our Shixiang sect lacking 7,000 taels? What we lack is a kind heart, a righteous person with good character. Zhu Ji spoke up, but he's already over 18. Ding Qi said angrily, as long as one has the heart, what does it matter if they're a bit older to practice martial arts? The ancients said a strong person can practice martial arts at 30 and become a grandmaster at 40. Register his name in the inner sect. We must let everyone know that our Shixiang sect's teaching only requires enough money. As long as one is sincere and dedicated to the martial path, anything is possible. After speaking, he left. Inside the Shixiang sect's main hall, Su-jin said, Deacon Lin, it seems there are many entrance examinations to enter the Shixiang sect. For example, the age requirement, I don't seem to meet the rules. Deacon Lin smiled gleefully. You qualify. Young Master Su's bone structure is excellent. Your aptitude is top-notch. Even if placed in any sect of the Great Song, you would be a one-of-a-kind genius. Deacon Lin thought to himself, 500 taels, let alone 18 years old. Even if you were 81, I'd say you qualify. Deacon Lin continued, but time is limited. Young Master Su, next we have to check your household registration. We need to look into your ancestors. This is a rule in the sect. If you can't remember, I can polish it up a bit. Suddenly, Sect Master Ding Qi walked in and cut him off. Polish what? Deacon Lin, is this how you do your job? Seeing Sect Master Ding Qi, Deacon Lin was startled and stammered. Elder Ding, I was just... Before Deacon Lin could finish, Ding Qi shouted, just what? A young hero with a kind heart and excellent character like young Master Su, what's there to check about his household registration? Su-jin watched and thought to himself, is this a martial arts technique? His hand is so fast. After speaking, Ding Qi stroked his beard and said warmly, rules are dead. Young Master, Su chose our Shixiang sect. To show our sincerity, we should also treat each other with sincerity. Zhu Ji handed the seal to Su-jin and said, Young Master Su, from now on, you are a disciple of the Shixiang sect. Wearing this bronze bell, you can freely enter and exit the martial arts repository to read various scriptures. Deacon Lin thought to himself, "Inner sect, so be it. The bronze bell, I work hard for 10 years, and I'm still just a bronze bell." Su Jin picked up the seal. Ding Chi added, "The Shixiang bronze bell, even among inner sect disciples, very few possess it. From now on, no one in Chongning City will dare to provoke you." Zhu Ji continued, "Junior brother Su, the Shixiang sect has deep ties with the government. With this seal, you can travel freely through the 39 prefectures of the Great Song." Su Jin looked at the seal in his hand and thought, this seal actually contains a small piece of refined iron. Although the refined iron is small, it's still worth 1 spirit stone. This trip was profitable again. After the matter was settled, Su Jin and Zhu Ji walked outside. "Junior brother Su, all the admission procedures have been completed. From now on, your name will be sent to the Yamen." Su Jin said, "Oh, okay. So when can you arrange for someone to teach me martial arts?" Zhu Ji was puzzled. "You really want to practice martial arts?" Su Jin asked, "Why else? I've spent 10,000 taels in total. I can't just have my name registered, can I?" Zhu Ji replied, "That's not it. But most disciples practice from the outer sect. Inner sect disciples are all self-taught, and occasionally, the elders in the sect will give some pointers." Su Jin asked further, "What about the other small number?" Zhu Ji said, "Xianjin Hall. Only inner sect disciples and above can freely enter and exit. You can receive rewards here. Junior brother Su can write down your request and the amount on the Xian board. Usually, it's a few dozen taels." Soon, the two arrived at Xianjin Hall. Su Jin slammed a stack of paper on the table and said, 1,000 taels, find me the best instructor. Scene change to the cultivation world, Kanglan outskirts. Su Jin wiped the sweat from his forehead and said, "Finally, I've wiped out you little insects. This is really exhausting. My spiritual energy is almost completely depleted. What kind of heavenly treasure is planted in these 2 mu of flower fields to attract 5 black-feathered bees? Black-feathered bees are good at hiding, extremely agile, and very difficult to catch. Fortunately, my 7 mystic demon slash has reached the 3rd level, otherwise I really wouldn't have been able to catch these guys. I have to increase the fee for this trip. The sun is about to set. I should hurry back home." With that, Su Jin left. On the way back, a man riding a sword flew high above and called out, "Dao is Su Jin. It's getting dark. You're still wandering around here. For just 5 spirit stones, I'll give you a ride. How about it?" Su Jin raised a finger and replied, 5 spirit stones? Why don't you just go rob someone?" At this moment, the city guards pointed their spears at each other and said, "Raise the formation." Just then, Su Jin also ran back. "What protection? It's no different from suicide." The guard said, "The city protection formation has been activated. No one is allowed to go out without permission." Su Jin, who had just managed to run inside, panted just in time. Being alone in the outskirts at night, without the protection of the Great Formation, is no different from suicide. This land is rich in spiritual energy. It's not just humans who want to use it to cultivate and become immortals. All things have spirits and are constantly evolving. Among them, many terrifying creatures have been born. It's still fine during the day, but once dusk falls and night descends, monsters swarm the mountains, moving freely without any hesitation. Even a late-stage chi refinement cultivator, upon encountering a terrifying creature, might not be able to guarantee their life. Many people have died staying outside at night. Only Foundation Establishment Realm cultivators can fearlessly stay outside at night. An old man, sitting on a bowl, appeared out of nowhere and shouted, "Early tomorrow morning, the Kanglan Mirror Jade Divine Sex team from Mount Luofeng will arrive here. South City Gate is currently recruiting people, no cultivation limit, 10 spirit stones per person. There are 3 Foundation Establishment Realm experts overseeing, so there's no need to worry about safety. Don't wait until it's too late." Su Jin ignored the old man's words and left. Returning home, Su Jin went to the window and sat down to cultivate. Su Jin thought, this cultivation speed is still as slow as before. He realized that this path of dedicated, arduous cultivation was not going to work. Could the martial arts techniques bring any surprises? The next morning, Su Jin went to the Xianjin Hall of the Great Song Shixiang sect. Seeing the silver-haired girl before him, Su Jin felt that her aura was very calm. He could barely feel any spiritual energy fluctuations. After thinking, Su Jin asked, "Are you the one who accepted my Xian Hall request?" The girl said, "That's right. it's me. Su-jin asked, why is it only you? What I want is the best personal instruction. The girl replied, there's no one else because she's the person Su-jin was looking for, the best instructor of the Shixiang sect, direct disciple Lu Qishang. Besides, she has already accepted this 1,000-tael Xianhao request. Who else would have an opinion? After hearing this, Su-jin thought, is this the power of martial arts? Before it was activated, there wasn't the slightest sign. Under the investigation of my divine sense, she was no different from a mortal. This is truly an excellent weapon for assassination and sneak attacks. However, her strength is a bit weak, not even as good as the early stage of chi refinement. I don't know what realm this direct disciple is really at. Lu Qishang clarified, according to the rules of Xianjin Hall, uncompleted tasks will be fully refunded, but there are many special exceptions, like teaching martial arts. Therefore, I will teach you for 1 month. I am an inner sect disciple and also have a bronze bell in my hand, qualifying me to practice on the first floor of the martial arts repository. So, for the next month, I will do my best to impart all the techniques you want to learn with absolutely no reservations. Su-jin asked curiously, what techniques are on the first floor of the martial arts repository? Qishang explained, the martial arts in the world are divided into 4 grades: heaven, earth, mystic, and yellow. In our Shixiang sect's martial arts repository records hundreds of martial arts. Among them, the first floor has more than 300 yellow grade techniques, just like me. Qishang executed the crushing thorn fist and said, this studies destructive power. It is fierce and unparalleled. Su-jin watched in amazement. The moment she threw the punch, the aura on her body magnified greatly, actually reaching 70 to 80% of the strength of an early-stage chi refinement cultivator. Qishang then executed the bone-penetrating palm. This is a palm that penetrates the enemy, shattering their bones. Seeing this move, Su-jin was just as surprised as before. A full-powered strike from an early-stage chi refinement cultivator would only be this much. Moreover, there was no warning before it erupted, and even divine sense couldn't easily catch it. After demonstrating the moves for Su-jin, Qishang said, these 2 sets of techniques are used to deal with different types of enemies. The power just now was suppressed at the peak of the Hodian realm. As for mystic grade techniques, you're not qualified to cultivate them. You need to be at the Xiantian realm to grasp them. Therefore, I will not demonstrate them for you. The first step in practicing martial arts is to temper the body. Any yellow grade technique can tap into one's potential, allowing the body to reach its peak. After that is condensing blood and qi, extracting true qi to achieve the Xiantian realm. After Xiantian is the Grandmaster realm. Su-jin was secretly delighted upon hearing this. The peak of Hotian can be equivalent to the early stage of qi refinement, so the Xiantian realm must be equivalent to the mid-stage of qi refinement. This also means that this senior sister Lu's strength is actually on par with mine. However, I possess many magical arts and formations. If it really came to a life-and-death duel, I would still have a high chance of winning. Qishang handed Su-jin a piece of paper and said, bone-penetrating palm, crushing thorn fist, and also the golden jade art. These 3 are the yellow grade techniques I am best at. You can first go to the first floor of the martial arts repository and choose a technique that you like. Su-jin said, then let's learn these 3 techniques first. Qishang added, I forgot to tell you, practicing martial arts not only consumes time and energy, but more importantly, it consumes blood and qi, and the blood and qi in the body are limited. Without supplementation, the more you practice, the more you consume. If you start practicing multiple martial arts at once, you could very well end up dying from blood and qi depletion. However, even learning one martial art is a great drain on oneself, and it is necessary to supplement with healthy blood and qi through medicinal materials. This prescription is for supplementing blood and qi. It's not expensive. Take it and use it. Also, the meat of demon beasts has an even better effect, but let's not mention that for now. Su-jin took the nourishing medicinal material prescription, opened it, and was surprised to think this is a supplement and also demon beast meat. He remembered that the demon beast meat of the cultivation world also had this effect. Could the 2 worlds be the same? This world also has demon beasts. Qishang handed Su Jin 3 books and said, "All right, you can practice one set here first." Su Jin replied without hesitation, "Only children make choices. I'll take them all. But what if my innate talent is extraordinary?" Qishang said, "I already told you, it's easy to deplete your qi and blood. But never mind, forget it. You can take them all. It's fine. It's not a bad thing to look through a few more." This golden jade art is both offensive and defensive, so it's unlikely for accidents to happen. Cultivate this one first. A moment later, Qishang told Su Jin to take off his shirt so she could transfer her true force into him. Su Jin asked shyly, "Senior sister, isn't this progressing a bit too fast?" Qishang replied, "What progress? This is the first step. In 1 month, I must at least get you to the entry-level stage of the golden jade art. Transferring my true force into your body is the fastest and most effective way. Stop talking and feel it carefully. The first time you circulate your qi and blood, it will expel the turbid qi from your body." Before Qishang transferred her true qi into Su Jin, he managed to suppress his spiritual power in time. If he hadn't, and his spiritual power had activated protectively, Qishang would have been severely injured, if not killed, in her unprepared state. Qishang touched Su Jin's back and asked with confusion, "How is it that you have no turbid qi?" Su Jin glanced at her and thought to himself, "Cultivators are like large batteries, constantly absorbing the spiritual qi of heaven and earth into their bodies. They